Hey, everybody. Welcome to 2026. Happy New Year. And when you're thinking about the old year, what comes up? What do you think? Maybe we should do a little mini spread on last year. I had a feeling of deep and rich satisfaction when I thought about the year ending. And I just thought about what an incredibly powerful year of growth it had been. It's what I call the squeeze. A lot of people were going through it, really intensive stuff. For us, the intensity has really very much lessened, and I'm a little numbed out, to be frank. I wouldn't say bored, but it's kind of like my nervous system is recalibrating. So this is the new place that we're in. It's great, love it. That's a mirror behind. Anyway, so I wanted to do a quickie spread just for today, and I've I've been gone a long time because I made a mistake. My guides are saying, don't overshare. And if you can guess, um, that's what the mistake was around. And it's made me really gun shy to go back. And I've just decided I've got to go back. It just happens to be January 1st that I'm back. But hi, Jeannie. It's so nice to see you. So let's do a little quickie spread on what were some of the major themes of what we learned last year. And then we'll look at some major themes for this upcoming year. I'm getting, our guides are saying, generalize it to something like the United States. Or I'm just going to say the people that are watching this. So you might not generalize this to everyone, but I'm sure it's going to have something to do with the astrology. Okay, so this past year, were we establishing a sense of security amidst a lot of big shifting and changing? So the Four of Spades long range card, security, its position in the home spread or the pure spread, I think, is really important because it's Mercury, Neptune. And that Four of Spades down there, I feel like it's like symbolically foundational, and it's what it represents anyway. But just intuitively, when I look at it sitting down here, it just feels really solid for some reason. And we don't think of Neptune being solid, but heading up the Neptune line, there's some weight of authority behind it that says there's something about the importance of being able to envision and dream. And I think it's unique to humans. We don't have evidence of the animal kingdom being able to envision or be anywhere other than the present moment. So it's kind of like it speaks to our multi-dimensionality, but it's the card of home and security. And Mercury means it's going to tell the truth about that kind of mystical multi-dimensionality. Does this have anything to do with what you learned last year? I don't know. But it's coming home, but not in the ordinary sense. I think the reason that I'm drawn to talk about it this way and not just traditionally as physical security has something to do with, what was security to us last year? What did we learn about what is home? I mean, that's majorly true for us because we had the rug pulled out from under us, had to relocate, and everything worked out. But it was significant hair loss. Like, I'm really embarrassed, but like I've got some hair loss because of the stress of the last 6 months. Hoping to regrow it. But anyway, I really did have to land more deeply in what was security, what was home for me. And I would go on a walk nearly every day and pray. And I grew closer to God than I have in any, short stretch of time because I just, I had to rely on what I couldn't see. And it dredged up a lot of pain and insecurity. So the Pluto card, Seven of Hearts, there was a major purge that happened last year, and there was a lot of letting go that needed to happen, a lot of forgiveness of self. And man alive, did I come down a peg with my ego because I learned that a lot of fear was living deep inside of me. So What did you learn was in you that you needed to release? Sharon, nice to see you too. Happy 2026. It sure feels different, doesn't it? So, did you have to release something emotionally? Did you have to do a final let go in a relationship? I've had a lot of self-forgiveness issues coming up lately, so that's big for me, but it feels like that's going on into the future too. We'll see if that's a continuing theme. The result, yes, I also went through the same with having to let go, making a huge change that was painful. Oh, Jeannie, that's difficult. Um, yeah, and the result is a change of values, a reprioritization, of realizing that something else is important, more important than maybe something else. Shift. So the five of spades on the bottom just kind of echoes that. Did you make a physical move? My Queen of Clubs friend just moved into a new place last night and woke up on the new year in her new place. So she had a move. But anyway, so now let's change our focus to, yes, if you're watching, just check a hi. It'd be so nice to know that you're here. Let's look at the future. And I would like to do another one of these in a couple of days. Hopefully before we go to Portland. We're going to see my daughter for a long weekend, Thursday through Tuesday. But I'm hoping to schedule it and generate a lot of energy so that your insights and energy are contributing to this pool of looking ahead. We're going to get a much fuller picture the next time we look at it. I had to set boundaries, and the crazy part is that the five of spades literally opens new opportunities I didn't even know were there, and that card speaks to me about going with the wave, trusting the journey. There's a real spontaneity, play, adventure emphasis to that five of spades, like you don't know what's coming, and if you can let go of fear, it's going to be new, exciting, interesting, fun. Yeah, and scary. You can't get out of that. It's like one step forward, two steps forward, one step back. Also, the stillness of the four of spades, I like that. I've been noticing just the last couple of days when there's a profound sense of stillness. And when you think about it, there was a lot of tumult last year, personally and globally. And it's like something completed. We got through something. Last night I was listening to Gene Decode, I think it was, talking about timelines. And it was actually a recording from maybe a year or even a year and a half ago. But he was talking about timelines, splitting, merging, that kind of thing. And we're coming up to a split. And that kind of talk always really bothered me. And for some reason, something in my spirit just knew that we had reached a threshold of some kind of resonance, some kind of frequency we have all collected. I just felt personally like I did it. I did the work that I was supposed to do, and I raised my frequency, and I contributed to the whole. And I just had this feeling of major check mark. And how solid the four of spades feels, still and solid. Yeah. Mental clarity with that card too, and I feel so much clearer. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Yeah, mental clarity with Neptune and Mercury. We always tend to think of the ditzy, down, cloudy, weird side of Neptune. But what's the highest vibration of Neptune? I would say it's spiritual vision. Coupled with Mercury, it's like extra clarity, like a depth of clarity and understanding. Sharon says, I feel like spirit has been moving me without knowing I was being moved. Wow. Is that like growth that feels it's sort of undetected, but it's happening anyway? That's really cool. Okay, so looking ahead. Yes, every time in my life that I'm really, really growing, it doesn't feel like I'm not aware that it's happening. But waking up every morning and just deciding to say yes again. You know, some mornings I say no, but you know, if you're still on your yoga mat, you're still in class, you're still in life, you know, you're like getting a little bit stronger because you're staying, you know. Okay, 2026. I have this card in a couple of days. I'm going into my Jupiter on the, no, not the 3rd, the 10th. Ace of Clubs. 10 of Diamonds on the bottom. Okay, so I got this card for the reading. I threw a couple of cards to kind of cajole myself into doing this, and this is the first card that came up, and oh man, I'm getting a really, what are you getting on this? I'm getting a metaphysical, connective abundance that comes from the collective, having a sense of oneness, community, spiritual community, galactic community, not directly, but indirectly somehow. I'm definitely seeing the energy of Lakshmi. It's sparkly abundance, collective abundance, but it's money in a way that hasn't felt like money before. It feels more like it has a higher vibration than money, but it functions as money. That's nice. Would you like me to send you some stuff I know about hair and some resources that can help? Absolutely. So my son was trying to do some rapid beard growth this past year, so he gave me this. I've been putting castor oil on it, and then I look in the ingredients, it says inactive ingredients, and I'm like, no, this isn't inactive. They just had to say that. Biotin, rosemary oil, castor oil, panthenol, niacinamide, aloe vera, ethanol, glycerin, deionized water. Anyway, yeah, I'd be very interested in that. It feels like such a shameful, embarrassing thing, you know, female hair loss. It's like men go bald, we accept that, but it's like when your hair starts, and it's all on the left brain, the right side's fine. The right side is like, we're good. And the right side is like, oh my God, my fingernails. How is this going to work? Okay, this card was exposed just now because this card fell off. New beginning in finances. They're being pretty clear. Well, it's your crown, but yes, perhaps I can help. Crown. Huh. What do you mean by that? Anyway, so this coming year, we're going to continue to work on issues of security and home. Okay, thank you, Jeannie. That is so kind. I really appreciate it. So, crown chakra is what you're saying is having an effect on hair loss. Okay, so the Four of Spades last year was about what is security, what is home, and in our exploration, it took on a more metaphysical feeling. Well, this 10 of Diamonds was totally metaphysical, but how is it different? Okay, we'll just talk later about that. Okay, so how is the Four of Spades different this year? They're saying much the same, a little bit more emphasis on your physical security. So maybe it's part of a cycle, like an astrological cycle that is saying, okay, we're going to be working on security, and then it's going to make itself manifest in physical, more physical, because Capricorn's coming in and Saturn is asking us to make it real. I'm just pretending that I know what I'm talking about. But is there some astrological basis for that intuition of the physical sense of home being made a little bit more manifest this year? Okay, what's the Pluto? We think we know. I think that's what that means. If this is the struggle, the Pluto, the life and birth, okay, it's also collective consciousness, the control matrix, what we're conditioned to believe and think, all of that kind of stuff. But they're showing me that there's a loosening of attachment. I'm just going to say, the attachment, and like not prescribe that anyone own it. I'm not going to call it your attachment or my attachment. It's just the attachment that is kind of there to global consciousness, to programs, to things we've been fed, the Tavistock Institute, the preconditioning, the movies, the stories, basically since the 30s, I think is when we started to have some really terrible interference. But um, I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's like it's coming apart. It's coming apart, and I think I'm connecting with some higher vibrational energies that are really seeing the humor in the delusion. And it's like if it's a party game and everybody is sort of made to believe something, and then it's about figuring it out what's really going on, and then everyone laughs. It's so funny. It's like, oh my god, you were so deluded. Can you imagine? Oh, and they're saying it's definitely the year of disclosure. King of clubs is Uranus, but it's also Jupiter, Saturn in the pure spread, which is a very powerful dynamic, which we will be talking about with the Three of Spades. I want to give a tribute to the Three of Spades that lives upstairs who has Parkinson's. So, yes, letting go of the conditioning and recognizing it as such. Have you guys been feeling the loosening of the matrix? How it's just kind of turning into an old jalopy, and we're starting to be able to loosen ourselves from the assumption that it's real. It's hard to describe exactly what it is, just like the Matrix talks about it. You feel it in the air, you smell it, you catch it at the edge of a conversation or whatever it is. I think that's when a Mandela effect, that line isn't in there anymore, but it's like you can feel something's off. And I think that's happening more and more. That's really, really going to happen this year. And also, let's do some work on Three Eye Atlas and just figure out what you guys are getting about it. What do the cards say about it? Because whatever the hell it is, it's definitely generated a lot of conversation about stuff. Oh, we're down to one viewer. I agree. Bringing it back to core values and deconditioning is going to be so important because diamonds is the missing suit thus far. Yeah, except the bottom of the deck, we had two. Hey, if you're still here, let me know because the view count is down to one, and I also only have one thumbs up, and we know that lies to me. Look at the mythology of Atlas. That can make lots of things click. Oh, interesting. Oh, I just got a heart. I think that's an indication somebody's here. Oh, it's back up to two. YouTube, stop lying to me. I don't consent. I don't believe that. Okay, so the Sword of Truth, which is in his left hand, which is the feminine side. Interesting. So maybe bringing truth in from a receptive yin place. And then it's the other hand, the right hand, that holds the globe. I'm not going to say any more about that. Okay, what is the result of this reckoning with the truth? And they're telling me it is really subjective. Like it or not, when I get into, disagreements with my daughter about what's going on in the world, it can be so annoying. And, people are like, oh, my truth and your truth. And I'm like, no, there's an absolute truth. And my guides are like, for the purposes of growth and the journey of a human soul on this planet, your subjective truth is the only thing that really matters. Like say you're a devout Lutheran your whole life and you get to the other side, and because you believed da 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 da, because of the faith that you were in, it shaped your, what defined good. And if you lived up to that good, That's measured as integrity, but a different set of, like say a tribe in Uganda that has a different set of values. Integrity spells out something different, but self-knowledge, subjective knowledge, I think they're saying that the sense of home and security and really building your foundation, your personal kind of claim on, this is where I stand, this is where I live, this is my life. These are the foods that I'm going to buy. These are the friends I'm going to spend time with. These are the books I'm going to read. I just feel like there's a thrust of intentionality that is creating our physical home, our sense of security this year. And as we are letting go of the program, and I just think this is like the false authority appearing real, Faar. I was hoping it would spell fart. Okay. Um, the Ace of Clubs. Right. So, what is true for you? And I just feel such a humbling with that because I think my ego and just being human has been really caught up in being able to say, what's really true. And I'm frustrated by this thing. Um, what's true, what isn't true, and how to be right. I'm on the side of the right, the correct. And I think the universe is just laughing and saying, it just really it matters so much less than you think it does. It really does. Okay, so if you have anything else to weigh in about this coming year and that card spread, let me know. But let's move on. I just wanted to give a quick tribute and a chat about the Three of Spades. So I begin my report on the Three of Spades by saying, don't ever compare yourself to one of them. Okay, so the man upstairs that we are caring for has fairly advanced Parkinson's at this point, and what it means is communication is very difficult. He can talk, but it requires a tremendous amount of focus and effort. Um, he can't walk. It's a matter of like standing up and getting a transfer to this place and that place, which takes a tremendous amount of time. My husband goes upstairs and bathes him, does all the toiletry in the morning, cooks breakfast, da 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 da. My husband's amazing, and he's taken him to the hot tub, the senior center hot tub, a couple times this past month. And Stuart actually cried just looking at Nolan in the hot tub. He's like, "This is the first time I've been immersed in water in 5 years," and you can just imagine, just blissing out. So, anyway, when I look at him as a Three of Spades and I think about achievement, doesn't it just totally change the face of achievement? I mean, when we're in our prime, we're always thinking about, visibility, accomplishment, career, prestige, stuff, getting stuff done. Um, and I look at him, and we did the ladies' Bible study was doing a study in Second Corinthians, and one of the verses is, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving a glory for us that far outweighs, the suffering and everything. Though outwardly we are wasting away day by day, inwardly we are being renewed." And so there's this focus of, the development of the spirit rather than on the external. And um, so his wife is the Nine of Clubs, and we're like right in the middle of their marriage and looking at this, 40 some years of, love and sweetness and dysfunction and just all of it, and I watch him, you know, achieve, I think his life's work now is around acceptance and grace, kindness. He's a 9 on the Enneagram, so those things are, in his tool chest for sure, overused. But when I think of the potential bitterness of going through a situation like that, he is a very tall man, and he's lost like, you know, over 20 pounds for sure. He's like in the 160s. He's just, shell of a person physically, but we have really deep exchanges from time to time, and I know that I'm here as a spiritual support to him and to keep his focus on the fact that, yeah, you are wasting away physically, but what's God doing? And he's a lifelong Lutheran. He's the son of a Lutheran pastor. Maybe that's why I brought that up, but um, just a very sweet dedication. Okay, so I got a new look at, I was like, okay, the Jack of Clubs being their Saturn, they do have a struggle with immaturity, taking responsibility for things. Like if he has something negative to say, it's really hard for him to say it. Take responsibility for your truth. Um, and also there's something kind of boyish about him, which I think is part of that Jack of Spades thing. The Queen of Spades in Jupiter is it indicates there's going to be a very powerful woman in their lives that make a lot of things possible, and I've definitely seen that. And the women tend to take on that archetype, whereas the men tend to manifest it in the form of a woman. Communication. Look at this. So the Two of Clubs is their Pluto card. So I think communication. I can't think of anything negative about Three of Spades, frankly, but that says that clear communication is a very difficult thing for them. And what I'm getting is that there's something around authenticity and honesty, being really, really honest. Okay, yeah, I can think of a younger Three of Spades female who, um, not always being really clear about motives, shadow side kind of conducting a lot of stuff, ego. There's a three-ishness in their personality from the Enneagram, and that's the performer, the celebrity, and that kind of thing. And I think they have to have a conversation with image and how I am perceived and that kind of thing. And so the Two of Clubs just feels like clear, authentic communication, and it has something to do with self-honesty. So I just wanted to say that he is a reminder to me of what is accomplishment. I really have never liked that word, and I was in a little women's gathering years ago, like 7 years ago maybe, and the person leading the group was very much into manifesting a strong three-ish energy in the Enneagram, and she said, "Okay, I want us all to think about what you've accomplished in the past year." And I'm like, when it was my turn, I was just like, I take umbrage at that word. I have a really hard time with that word. And I think I'm holding the voice in the culture that questions the value of accomplishment. What is accomplishment? And Nolan is really teaching me that it's what we take with us, it's what's permanent, or the more lasting. How many eons will my experience have an impact on God's experience of God? I don't know. But anyway, it's a shift in perspective. I love you all so much. I think about you every day. Why? I have just really been gun shy to get back because of a personal failure, and somebody got hurt, and I think several people maybe did, and separately. But it was a real calling to account, and I have to be a lot more careful about getting permission from people to talk about them or not using their names. So my deepest apologies to anyone that I may have hurt or offended or felt like I betrayed their trust. It's been a real difficult one, really, really difficult. And God is leading me through that. And I am finding personal grace. So anyway, let's just end it with saying, what do you want to accomplish this year? Kidding. Although what did pop in my head is like, I'm really excited about my book, Little Things. I finally moved into the editing phase yesterday. I'm just going to stop writing and start Heading, ever. Big hugs, Cheerio, hero. Yes, it's so nice to see you here. So much love to you, Sharon. Yes, I look forward to coming back. Thank you. I'm feeling your love, and that's really good. None of us is perfect, but think about your dog when they're naughty, right? You just love them more. You're like, oh my God, they're so cute. And God's like, oh, just feel that preciousness, no matter how you failed. Okay, have a good one. Happy New Year.